All right, so we want me to break down a cradle and show you how to step into the cradle. So first, before we learn how to step into the cradle, we have to understand the two different cradles. So first cradle is just your basic cradle, just a regular cradle. And so to demonstrate, you also said you wanted me to break down a cradle. So we're going to break it down. If you look at here, okay, we have a loop here. This is what we're going to call the cradle loop. This is what we're going to call the anchor loop. Cradle loop here is called the cradle loop because it's what's cradling the dart. This is called the anchor loop because it's anchored to something, whether it's going to be my hand or whether it's going to be hair or something. It's just going to be anchored to something of whatever cradle you're going to do. Okay, and from here, whenever we put this through this loop, it's gonna sit in a cradle, and just like that, it's like rocking a little baby. It's gonna go to sleep. Good night. Oh, I'm sorry. So that's your basic cradle. Now that's your first type of cradle, and if you notice, what I can also do with this cradle is I can reach through the loop and pull it through. Okay, so with the basic cradle, you can do either or. You shoot it in front like that and lay it down, or you can also just pull it through. Okay, so that's your basic cradle. Your reverse cradle is the second cradle. The reverse cradle is just simply that, we're in reverse. So instead of going in front, we're going from behind. Okay, it's going to make more sense later, but you really want to know that those are the two different cradles. So good way to tell if you're in cradles and you don't know which one is which, if you reach through and from the back and pull. Well, actually, if you reach through the back and then just kind of do this number right here, you'll see that it kind of creates an X. So you know whenever it's an X, it's going to be a reverse cradle. But if I reach from the front, just like this, it's not going to cross, okay? So now that I've explained the two different cradles, how to get into it instead of just reaching in and make it a little more fancy. So one of the first ones that people learn is casting it out off to the side first like a pendulum, putting it underneath. So here, here, underneath, and then underneath again, grabbing, pulling. Okay, and I forgot to mention, whenever I broke down the cradle, this is called the control point, because you're controlling, it's the point where it controls where it's going to do, depending on how you manipulate the hand and anchoring this. Because you anchor here, you pull this, and you can pull it against the rope of the anchor to control it. Okay, so that's your one of your first cradles that you learn. So again, casting off to the side, putting it under, and grab. But also, before I grab and pull it through, take a look. It's crossed. So this is a very popular cradle that people do, but what it's not realized that it's actually a reverse cradle. So a lot of people are actually learning the reverse cradle to begin with. So how would I go about doing a not reverse, a regular cradle? So instead of casting it here and going under, we have to have the hand over on this hand. So let's say it's coming up and over like that. Now it's on the other side. And now if I just anchor this right here and grab through, no cross, so it's reverse. So why do you need to learn the difference? Don't it look all the same, blah, blah, blah? Well, if you want to step into the cradle, how to get out of it depends on if you're reaching forward or from behind, the basic or the reverse. Let me demonstrate. I'll demonstrate first and then I'll break it down. So let's say if I do the reverse cradle. Underneath has that X. Pull through. Let's say which leg I want to step in? I'm going to step in this one. Okay, so I step in, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under my leg and then over this rope, bring it back through, and now I can get out of it. But I'm going to do the same thing, going over the rope like that, but with the reverse, or with the regular cradle. So it's going over, which is pulling in front, pull through. I'm going to step through the same thing, But I'm gonna do the same thing under and over the rope, and it does not work. I'm wrapped up. I have to go the other way. So if I am doing that, the regular cradle, and step in, instead of going over this way, I have to go the other way. So I go under my leg, over, but now that's just complicated. So if I do it one thing one side and my other side, if I just go on the other side, it'll go the opposite way. So all I have to do is go here, whoops, sorry, under, and I can just go over that rope, and now I can get out of it. So those are the two differences, and it's very important which one you do. So we're going to go over a step-in cradle that goes under. So we're going to do our reverse. So you just cast it off to the side, underneath, underneath, grab, pull through, okay, step through with your anchor leg, re-grab. What you're going to do is it's going to be on a down spin, and if you look at the rope, it has to go underneath first. So you're going to go under and, oops, yeah, you know, no, that was right. Under and over, and then back on this side and of the leg. So let me go. That was so. So you're gonna go under the leg, under the rope, and then back under the leg. So under, under, under. Now you can do anything, pretty much. Now it's free. You can do whatever you want. You can, you know, just swing it out, or maybe I can switch it out and do a foot shot. So it's just, you know, like I said, anything you want. So that's one cradle that you can do. Step-in cradle. Try to speed by this so I don't hit the 10-minute mark. Then we can also do it on the other side of the leg. So do the same thing. So under, under, grab, step here, and pull. Again, want to go under the leg, under the rope, and out. That was about 7 minutes, so we have more time. We are going to now go over regular cradle binding, step into binding. So instead of casting, we're going to throw it over our hand. We're going to, while it's coming around, we're going to put this hand here so that it hits this part, and still going to continue momentum, and that's when we're going to grab here. So we're going to keep this momentum this whole time, over and grab. Again, we're going to put just our hand here so they'll catch it, see how it swings, and when it swings, it's going to swing up to my hand here, and that's when I'm going to grab and pull it through. Okay, now let's step in the cradle. This is the regular one. So the last one we went through this way. We have to go this way now. So we can do it in two ways. We can, if you know, we're continuing to spin from a down spin. If we're not worried about just maintaining the same direction, we can always stall. So under, then going that way, and now it's on an upspin. We can just come out. Okay. If you want to maintain the spin, we're gonna have to take it to the other side and keep the leg in while we're doing that before we come back out under that leg. So here, we're going to step in, and we're going to go under. We're going to bend our knee. Once it does, bring it to the other side, and it's still going to swing over, and now I can do whatever I want. Same thing with the other side of the leg. So here, oh, fun fact, if you do a dragon wrap, grab, lift it over, that is our regular cradle. So we'll do that, and we're going to step in. Okay, now again, we do not want to go this way, we want to go the other way. So we can either stall, go, and out, or we can do it the way of the last time. So under, bend the knee, under, and out. So, yeah, I think that's close to 10 minutes. So hopefully that answered your question.